Like the Yowie walks up to you and is like, "Here, my child, try this." And it's got like a little canteen of.
But you don't see where it comes from. You're just
he just gives it to you. Like, here,
and you like drink it.
And you're like, this is clearly milk, but.
But it's like the best milk I've ever had.
Right.
But then it like cuts to him like in his kitchen, just
yeah.
It's just like,
it's milking itself,
and you're just none the wiser.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Shadows and Sightings, a paranormal comedy podcast where we talk about all things spooky. I'm Taylor.
I'm Nick.
And today we've got an episode on the Australian Bigfoot, the Yowie.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going down under, mate.
Yowza. Yowie.
Yahoo.
You know what else is really... Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I love Foster's beer. When I think of Australia... And I know people, if there's any Australian listeners out there, they're probably like...
Foster's a shit.
It's like...
That's like Americans being like, I love Miller Lite.
Miller Lite, yeah. They're like, you like that trash? But it's not the taste. I mean,
it's the big giant can.
It's just the giant can that comes. It was great. I was on the cruise last month, and they had all these different beers. I look down, and I just see a big old can of Foster's. I was like, oh, hell yeah. Give me that can. And we're watching these plays in like the theater, and I'm just chugging a big ass mini keg of Foster's.
Lasts you a while.
Great. It was great. And then you can take the little tab that you open the can with, and you can turn it into a fishing hook, and it gives you directions on how to do that on the can.
And okay, why is that a thing that needs to be on the can?
I'm guessing they're thinking that a lot of their
people that drink Foster's are fishermen?
I mean, Australia, it's an island continent, so it makes sense. They're not landlocked. Like, you know, it's like floating out in like the middle of the ocean. Whereas, like, we have Canada up north.
Canada's not a continent.
It's not, but it's part of North America. You know what I mean? You know what? Fuck you. Foster's is good. Go fucking drink it.
Foster's is good. Steve Irwin is great. We all love Steve Irwin.
I was devastated.
We all were devastated.
And
of all ways to go.
That's what made it so devastating. Yeah. It wasn't... I think it would have hit different if I came home from school that day and they were like, hey, Steve Irwin died.
Because he was bitten by a venomous snake.
Or a car accident, God forbid, or whatever. No,
he was wrestling a kangaroo.
Or he went out fighting like 20 crocodiles.
Yeah.
No, he got stung by a stingray.
Well, he wasn't stung, was he? He was like impaled with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, stung, and it punctured his heart, I think.
There's a difference between being stung and being impaled.
Well, if a stingray impales you, it stings you, right? It's stinging you with its barb.
I don't know how they sting you.
It's like,
I just know
it's a little barb on their tail. Yeah, it was just like the perfect storm of he was underwater, messed with a stingray, it felt threatened, and it was like, and I think it was like right in like the heart.
Damn. You ever see like the thing where it's the Holy Trinity of our childhood was Steve Irwin that taught us how to love love animals. Mr. Rogers taught us to love our neighbors, and LeVar Burton taught us to love reading. Yeah, that's so wholesome. What a time to be alive.
It really was.
We don't have that now. We have Mr. Beast and Kai Cenat and ISO Speed.
I mean, kids nowadays.
Those are the three horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean, kids nowadays they have Blippi.
Okay.
Blippi's pretty cool.
Blippy, Bluey.
Bluey's definitely the
He's
wholesome.
Australian.
He's Australian.
So maybe he's the new Steve Irwin.
Brittany actually shared this video the other day of him talking, and it just completely shattered. Well, I'm trying to block that video out of my mind.
Of who talking?
Of Dad, Bandit.
Oh, yeah?
The voice actor. Because it was like, how is this the same person? And
does he sound way different?
No, it's him, but it was like an interview, and it was like a very lewd comment. And like his response was like very like, it's like, what? Like, you can't say that.
You're a bandit.
You're a bandit. Which, I mean, in all honesty, you can't expect voice actors not to like They're probably some of the most like
Oh, for sure.
unhinged people out
Especially
there.
like kids shows.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I bet like Steve from Blue's Clues. I mean, obviously he like left and came back years later. Now he's back to being like, hey, I'm your dad again. But he probably like left the Blue's Clues set.
Is he back?
Kind of, yeah. He's like kind of on TikTok and Instagram and stuff. And he'll
yeah.
He does those like check-ins. It's like, hey, just checking in. How are you doing today? And
Yeah.
then like he sits there and just like looks at the camera for like 30 seconds. Like, oh yeah, I hear you. Well, I just wanted to stop by and say you look great. So bye. And it's like,
that's
like,
actually
all right. Okay, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, he's probably getting hammered.
Oh, he was probably doing so many drugs, just walking off set.
Yeah, just trashed.
Yeah, like the kids shows, man, just unhinged.
I never confirmed it, but apparently Barney, the actor,
the dude in the suit, probably was just a raging alcoholic.
Yeah, I heard. I never
bet he smelled like
confirmed.
menthols.
I never. Yeah. Just fucking chain
and
smoking.
Steel Reserve.
Newport and Steel Reserve. just, is that Foster's? Damn right it is.
Yeah, right. He couldn't afford Foster's. That guy was making less than minimum wage to wear a dinosaur costume all day.
Just pounding.
He was probably just drinking like just malt liquor, just the highest alcohol content he could find for the least amount of money. And then they let him hang around kids all day.
Pounding Pall Mall cigarettes.
Inside of the suit.
Oh, of course.
I hope.
Of course. Of course.
What do you think the Teletubbies people were like? I bet they were just the most cognate British dudes that ever existed, and they were just absolute hooligans.
Was it a British show?
Oh, yeah.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
I got it. Maybe.
It's time for Teletubbies.
Oh, yeah, I guess it was. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And that fucking baby son. Ugh.
Who now has a baby of her own.
Oh, I don't like that.
You haven't seen that?
I don't think so.
It's like floating around. It's like, this is the same person. It's like her. She's a mom with her own baby now.
Yeah. Jesus, we're old. Anyways, Shadows and Sightings, the paranormal comedy podcast. The Yowie. So this is the Australian version of our good old friend Bigfoot.
It's like every culture has some form of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yowie, Yeti. We could probably do a whole entire series on just the evolution of the hominid ape.
Homo erectus. Or whatever it was called. Wasn't there like a giant ape that used to live like millions of years ago? Gigantopithecus is the giant.
Gigantopithecus?
Yeah.
I think it would have been really cool to see the giant sloth.
The giant sloth?
Yeah.
So when did that exist?
Probably around the same time.
Really?
Honestly. One of those prehistoric eras. Like, I don't know. I'm not an archaeologist or a paleontologist or
a cryptozoologist.
But one of those.
I'm
just a guy.
Records a podcast.
Just a dude. But yeah, every culture has some form. I mean,
yeah. It's one of those things where if you're a proper society, you have a Bigfoot. And they all could just be descendants of the Gigantopithecus.
Like, is it a missing link within their subspecies of cryptid? So we have like the missing link and supposedly like the human evolution
of being Bigfoot.
But is there the same thing?
Could be.
But from like a Bigfoot stance. Like if a bunch of intellectual Bigfoots are gathered around a room talking about the evolution of Bigfoot, are they also asking the same questions? What's the missing link?
What is the purpose of being a Bigfoot?
How do we go from giant Pithecus to that thing? And he just like points at the
just like Earl sitting over there
just snorting cheese whiz
off of a stripper.
Like an uncivilized Bigfoot.
What's an uncivilized Bigfoot look like?
It's Earl, I don't know. Fucking with his flannel.
It's just the one you don't talk about.
He's just sitting over there in the dark.
It's like the meth head.
Fucking glasses, flannel, fucking socks that's like holes missing.
Like that a Bigfoot's wearing socks.
I don't know. But I'm more concerned with the intellectual ones. We don't talk about Earl.
Yeah. True.
So Australia has the Yowie. And the Yowie, for those of you who have never seen it or heard of the Yowie, or maybe you have, let us know if you've experienced the Yowie.
I wonder if we have any Australian listeners.
I want to say in the data, there was like one hit.
Give me the data.
From Australia.
Nice.
And it was one of our early listeners too, I think.
Well,
like way early on.
Maybe that person's still listening. Maybe. I'd like to hope so.
I don't know.
If you are, hey.
Let us know. Let us know about your Yowie experience. But for those
I've seen that the Yowie is mostly eastern Australia. Most of the sightings come from the East Coast.
Yeah, on the Outback. Yeah, Eastern, yeah.
It's always fresh in the Outback.
Oh, yeah. It's so crazy, like, seeing Australia, like, nighttime photos of it's all the coastline that's populated.
Right.
And there's, like, nothing out in the middle of it. Because Australia, it used to be a penal colony, so it's, like, every single venomous thing
that
you can imagine.
Yeah.
Like, lives in Australia.
I was going to say, in a world of, or a continent full of cryptids that are real, you just see them, like crocodiles the size of cars and man-eating spiders. I like how there are still cryptids that exist in Australia. It's like, yep, that could exist. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. And
By the way, look at this fucking crocodile. It's 10 feet long and it weighs as much as a Camry.
Freaking this giant-ass bird-eating tarantula that could...
Right.
Yeah, but you see all the lights on the outskirts of Australia, and there's just like dark in the middle. Yeah. Maybe a couple speckles here. Like nobody in their right mind is like, we're not living out there. We don't go out there. That's just fucking wild. But then the Aborigines are out there, like we've been doing this for thousands of years. Like
we all scared of.
A bunch of nothing but a bunch of bitches.
That's probably the way they like it.
Oh yeah, but for those of you who are unfamiliar, the Yowie is a cryptid, a mythical creature similar to Bigfoot or Sasquatch that is said to inhabit the Australian outback. It is often described as a bipedal, ape-like, and a hairy creature. Some theories suggest that the Yowie might be a semi-bipedal marsupial or a large wombat. And of course, the origin and the nature of the Yowie remain a mystery. How tall did you... I saw everything from 6 feet all the way up to like 14 feet.
Yeah, I've seen the same thing.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Like he's like the size of a regular person or as big as a fucking house.
Yeah.
There's nowhere in between.
And as far as like his temperament goes,
he's like a hippie chilling out in the woods, or he's out to kill you.
He's gonna murder your ass. There's a picture, you can find a picture from I think like the 1800s of this like 16-foot Yowie just like devouring. It's like the feet are sticking out.
I also heard that it had mammary glands, like it's got some big old titties on it. So who knows?
Like, oh God. What would be worse? 14-foot non-carnivorous Yowie chasing after you with lactating titties, or a 6-foot man-eating Yowie with non-lactating titties, but he's still chasing after.
So he's still got titties though, like
he still has titties, but they're not lactating.
So they're not big old mommy milkers.
They're just like normal.
They're like regular man tits.
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't like the idea either way of something running after me with giant swinging tits. But I guess if I'm going to be getting chased by one, I want it to be the big bad one. I want it to be a 14-foot non-carnivorous one, because he's 14 feet. I'd be like, wow, I must be important to get chased by the 14-foot one.
And on top of that, it didn't say, there's no indication that it's either a male or female Yowie.
Right.
It could be a male Yowie
it could have
with big old milkers chasing after you.
And a huge old dong.
It could be. And it's trying to eat you.
Boy, that's a recipe for disaster.
Either way.
Also, probably not the scariest thing you would find in the Australian outback.
I mean, yeah, given the other things that I could run into in Australia... Like
a
if
14-foot tall ape with titties and a dong is not the worst.
It could be. Yeah, like I think I'll take my chances. I'm not happy about it. I would definitely be calling out on work on Monday.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but
it probably would happen to you on a Monday. That sounds like a Monday ass thing to happen.
Yeah, you know, your car breaks down out in the outback.
I mean, like you just went out there for, you know, just a little bit of an escape from the everyday 9 to 5.
Yeah, and then your car breaks down. You start walking, you start hitchhiking, or you're trying to hitchhike for, you know, the random chance that somebody's going to show up.
Get you back to town.
And you look up and this thing is just staring at you like on this ominous road. Not threatening, just staring at you. And you're like, is that thing lactating?
Is that got some big old mommy milkers on it?
Where's its pants?
Also, why is it? God, that's a huge dick.
And it just starts fucking
beelining,
beelining for you, and you're just like, oh shit, that thing's running after me, and then you just,
it's real. Like I'm not hallucinating.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds like a nightmare.
And then you gotta be like calling your boss. Hey, I'm not gonna make it back. So.
Okay. And that's it. Do you tell your boss why, or do you lie about it? Is it more embarrassing to admit that, I was being chased by this very confusing thing to my psyche, or do you like?
You just accept the the disciplinary actions of missing the rest of your shift.
I got a cold. Like I'm sick.
Sorry, I had a migraine the rest of the day.
I can't.
Couldn't work through it.
I've seen some shit.
I feel like the Yowie's so ingrained in Australian culture and history that I feel like if you called your boss and told him that you just got run down by the Yowie, like you got in a hit and run with it, and he wasn't insured, he would be like, yeah, you know what? Just take the rest of the day off, man. We don't have time for you.
Maybe, I guess.
Happened to me last Tuesday.
Yeah, right? Like, I could see that. Like, maybe, Because if we try to pull that shit over here, that wouldn't work. Yeah, hey, Bigfoot hit my car. It sounds like a you problem, dumbass. Get into work.
No days off.
Yeah.
It's Saturday. Why aren't you at work?
Because it's Saturday and I'm off. And
not today, dummy.
Not today or not you are on the schedule and your ass is not here.
Your ass is grass. So all joking aside, at least for the most part, what's kind of the origins of this Yowie creature?
Well, in terms of like the term Yowie, it's kind of uncertain, and I think it's been around for so long in the Australian myth, folklore, and all that, where it's kind of hard to like pinpoint where it actually came from. The term was documented in 1875 by the might butcher this, but the Gamilaroi people by Reverend William Ridley. I guess he published it in Kamilaroi and other Australian languages, where Yowie was described as a spirit that roams the earth at night. Some researchers suggest that the term arose through Aboriginal legends of the Yahoo. 19th century European accounts described the creature and deem it the Yahoo, specifically by Robert Holden, who described it saying that the natives of Australia believe in the Yahoo. I think, honestly, the most credible source of all I think if you really wanted
cut through the fat, so to speak.
Yeah, I think if you go to the Aborigines, like that, I think is where like all the meat is right there.
Right.
And a lot of what
they're like the OGs.
Yeah. And because they've been like in modern society, like, oh, there's something out there, like it attacked my car.
Like, yeah.
This fucking giant 14-foot thing chased after me. My car broke down, and they're probably like, oh yeah, that's the Yowie. Yeah. Like, it happens every other day.
He literally is my neighbor.
Yeah, you be nice to him.
He brings us seeds.
Another story about the terms the origins come from an Aboriginal source. One account from Old Bungaree, a Gunedda elder, stating that the Yahoo was an ancient race that once inhabited Australia. He describes conflicts between Yahoos and Aboriginal people in the event called Dreamtime, claiming the latter usually overpowered them, although the Yahoo is said to be a fast runner. And I looked into like the Dreamtime thing. It's kind of like a pre-ancient explanation of like the origins of Earth and the universe from like an Aboriginal standpoint. So it's like their creation mythos, basically. Yeah. And the Yahoo was this race of, ape-like creatures that I guess at one point in time crossed paths with humans, Aborigines, and it looks like they didn't get along. Maybe they did in some accounts, maybe they didn't. But
War
I think
of the Planet of the Apes.
Basically, and yeah, I think that's more or less where that kind of comes from, as far as like the terms, the origins of the Yowie.
Yeah,
I know we've like referenced the show a couple times, but Mysteries of the Unexplained with William Shatner.
Yeah,
I think there is an episode. It's either an episode about Bigfoot and the Yowie gets thrown in there, or it's an episode about Australia and like Unexplained Australia and the Yowie's in there. But they're actually interviewing Aborigines talking about the
that's
Yowie.
cool.
It was pretty neat. It was pretty neat. Yeah, crazy shit.
I would say so. And then the Yowie sightings really start to pick up in like the 1800s, right?
Give or take.
Like as colonists start to move in and start, like you said, using it as like a prison.
Yeah, it started. Yeah, so Australia originally was a penal prison colony, and I believe most
by British rule.
But yeah, so a lot of times in Britain, you break the law, you sentence to whatever,
just excommunicated
to Australia, which makes sense then that we would start seeing more and more reports of Yowie sightings around that time frame, because prior to, there probably wasn't a whole lot out there.
Oh, for sure. It's probably just
like
the Outback everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Just crazy
Before
shit.
it was modernized, and they get there, and there's reports of, hey, this giant fucking thing attacked my livestock or whatever.
Right.
And the more that it became modernized, it kind of makes sense that, we would see more sightings and things like that.
Yeah.
I always think it's so cool, though, because, like, the Aborigines still, again, they're like, I don't know what you guys are freaking out about. Like, we literally have been talking about this for years.
Nothing new is happening here.
That motherfucker. Just
because y'all showed up, you look weird.
Right? You're in our territory. Like, that motherfucker has been here since the beginning of time. Yeah. Which I can read through all the modern depictions of it, but I'm more intrigued about the cultural Aborigines, and their take on it. That to me is more interesting, because I think it's more accurate as to what, like, a Yowie could actually be. Yeah.
I like the idea of, like, the colonists or whatever writing letters back to England about what this Yowie was. Like, oh, we're going to go look for it. And then they get a letter from the colonists again. We stopped looking for it. We're not fucking with that thing anymore.
Yeah, right? Like, don't
come down here. It's real bad.
And somehow Teddy Roosevelt
he just shows up.
Catches wind of it. It's a double barrel.
You see the ship dock, and then he just rides off on the horse. Double
barrel shotgun.
Sword.
Like, it's like, so,
all right, boys, let's round us up a Yowie.
It's like
Teddy Roosevelt.
That's Teddy Roosevelt.
I seen an early Yowie article, kind of from the 1800s. Yeah. After a flurry of reported sightings in the Maitland area, the Empire newspaper asks, are they the Australian version of the African gorilla? Most newspapers at the time were running with the gorilla theory from 1870 to 1894, which I guess would be coinciding with, like, Darwinism, right? But somewhere around that time? There was a large influx of ape-like animal sightings reported to newspapers.
If you're talking about naturalism, though, that would make sense.
I mean, like Darwinism, like, like we're descended from apes. But here's just a quick, Mr. Alf Smith, I'm assuming his name was Alfred, but they abbreviated to Mr. Alf Smith of the Lakes, distinctly saw a hairy man a short distance from him a few days ago and had a shot at it with a shotgun without effect. He says it strongly resembles a gorilla, is between 5 and 6 feet high, has long hair over the main body, and short arms. So again, they're all over the place with the size of this thing.
Yeah, there's no, the only consistency seems to be the inconsistency and the depictions of what the Yowie, like what he looks like, his temperament, what he's willing to do, which in contrast to Bigfoot in the United States.
Bigfoot just pretty much leaves you alone, I guess.
It's pretty consistent across all accounts of what Bigfoot is. The size generally stays between
like 8
and 9. 8. Sometimes I think the most I've ever seen is like 12 feet.
Right.
So it's somewhere around that range. Very elusive. Very rarely do we have reports of Bigfoot like attacking. Mm-hmm. And if it is, it seems to be more like territorial based.
Right.
Like kind of you like wander too far into the woods. You come across his fucking crop of weed and he just loses his shit.
I was just thinking, like, imagine just being a hiker. You're already lost it as it is, and then the Bigfoot just beats the shit out of you. You're on my property. It just beats the shit out of you.
Just like comes.
How does this day get any worse?
It's like, oh wow, look at that, a Bigfoot mask just randomly floating, just stands up. Oh God!
Oh no!
Oh, he's got a Louisville Slugger, an American classic.
Is that wrapped in barbed wire?
What do you need that for out here?
Oh no!
So, yeah, it's pretty consistent with, which I thought was an interesting, contrast to the Yowie.
Right. So it's interesting though. You bring Teddy Roosevelt up because we've talked about him trying to organize groups to find the Snallygaster when that was a thing. Yeah. In 1871, they actually started Yowie hunters as expeditions to like get people together to go out and find and shoot and kill this thing if they could find it or capture it.
So, well, I mean that makes sense. Like, and that's another thing that kind of seems to happen whenever there is a new, quote unquote, newly discovered or anticipated creature that is elusive. It's always like, let's gather a hunting party.
I want to be the first one to catch it.
Yeah, like a bunch of people. Which I don't really think we see that too much, like in modern times today. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
if there was, I don't know, some cryptid tomorrow that like, oh, have you guys heard of the Phoenix? I don't know, Arizona snally owl. I don't know. I'm just pulling something
Okay.
out my ass,
Yeah.
whatever. And no one's gonna be like, oh, let's get together and hunt this damn thing. Or
Right.
there's gonna be like, I think after modern technology, it's just
Yeah, I mean, even with modern like TikToks, people could take TikToks and allegedly find evidence of these cryptids existing, and you don't see people ganging up together.
Mm-mm.
I mean, the only group I can think of are the Bigfoot enthusiasts that literally have Bigfoot conventions, and then they all get together and go out to look for it.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're really out to kill or capture it. They're just looking for evidence.
Mm.
But yeah, new cryptids, and like there's no Mothman hunting squads.
Mm-mm. No, I think that kind of was like a
An 1800s thing.
yeah, and
Probably based because Teddy Roosevelt was all about it.
That's true. I mean, that caused waves when he was like, "We're gonna go after this snallygaster."
We're gonna find that son of a bitch.
I want an
Now watch this drive.
I want an HBO series where it's just set in Teddy Roosevelt's
Oh man,
time.
it's about Teddy Roosevelt. Like,
But it's about
it's Teddy
him.
Roosevelt, cryptid hunter.
Yeah, he's like a cryptid hunter.
Yeah.
It's like it's just
And he
him
actually
going-
finds them though.
Yeah, it fucking fights him.
I love that,
Like,
yeah.
It just fucking fights him.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
basically, but Teddy Roosevelt
Yeah.
cryptid.
Hell
And he
yeah,
just
that'd be
goes
awesome.
around. He just goes around. Look,
That'd be great.
it's like the X-Files meets Teddy Roosevelt meets cryptids meets 1920s
History.
like
Yeah.
history or
Hell
whatever.
yeah. That'd be
Like,
fucking dope as hell.
or like a comic series or something.
God damn, if Robin Williams was still alive, he could reprise his role from
Oh
Night at
my
the Museum
God.
and just do that. Oh,
I thought he was great in War of the Worlds. I mean, there's so many renditions of it, but there's like an animated version where it takes place in the United States and the U.S. is invaded by the aliens, and it's around Teddy Roosevelt's presidency,
mm-hmm.
and he's just fucking jacked.
Of course he is.
And there's like a scene where, you know, he's, I think he rips the laser cannon or he has like a Gatling gun or something. And he's like, for democracy. He's like the Empire State Building, just like fucking mowing down these
Oh, yeah.
aliens. It's like
Hell
Jack Teddy Roosevelt. So what about sightings? As far as you'd mentioned, most of the sightings seem to be in Eastern Australia, more out in like the Outback. But as far as sightings go, it can kind of be chunked up into regional, like different regions. So we have some activity for like the Northern Territory of Australia. In the late 1990s, there were several reports of Yowie sightings that emerged around Acacia Hills. 1997, mango farmer Katrina Tucker claimed she had been just meters away from a hairy hominid creature on her property, and then photographs of large footprints were collected at that time. Probably just her neighbor.
Not to like cut you off or anything, but I also like the footprints thing. I also heard that the Yowie sometimes like it has backwards feet to confuse. Yeah, like I was like, what the fuck? But it was like to confuse people or predators or people looking for it, because then you don't know which way it's going. Like its feet are backwards. Like I can't imagine how that would even work physically for any animal, but to have backwards feet unless they could like do it themselves. Like triple jointed or double jointed, just like an owl's neck.
Now, to be fair, if this thing is running around the Outback with big ass milking titties, like it's still a male, I would not put it past it. I wouldn't like after you explained to me that this thing could potentially have like
double E,
like yeah, and like it's
Mondo milks.
and still be like a male and still be at that point it's like whatever goes. Like, okay, yeah.
It could be whatever you want.
So yeah, if you're telling me that its feet could be backwards, it's probably fucking Yowie. It's like,
There's got to be somewhere in Australia where they're advertising Yowie milk or Yowie cheese,
I would not.
Yowie yogurt,
Nope, I would not. You cannot tell
anything
me.
that comes from the teat of a yow.
I will starve. I will.
You think you wouldn't try Yowie milk?
But
You
I'm so confused.
you wouldn't suckle from the teat of a Yowie?
I wouldn't. I don't.
Even if it consented?
I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
I'm good.
I don't think I would do it either. That'd be really weird.
It would be. It would be odd. It would be just unethical. It probably tastes like.
What if it tastes really good though? Well, it's like one of those forbidden things. Like this shouldn't really taste that good, but it does. Like the Yowie walks up to you and is like, "Here, my child, try this." And it's got like a little canteen of Yowie tidbit.
But you don't see where it comes from. You're just
he just gives it to you. Like, here,
and you like drink it.
And you're like, this is clearly milk, but
but it's like the best milk I've ever had.
Right.
But then it just like cuts to him like in his kitchen, just
yeah.
It's like,
it's milking itself,
and you're just none the wiser.
It tastes like chocolate milk to you, like the best chocolate milk you've ever had, but it's like 4 times the amount of protein, 0% sugar. It's like a superfood.
I'm going to say no.
It's like an instant fat burner.
No, I'm good. Like, I'll take my chances.
No downsides at all to drinking this milk outside of the fact of where it comes from.
Nope, I'm good. I will not.
All right.
I am good with
60 grams of protein per 1 ounce serving.
No, I will.
Could sustain you for a month on one single suckle.
That's the problem.
Doesn't need pasteurized or anything.
Nothing should be that pure. Okay, it's not right. It's like there needs to be limitations. Okay, and if something is that pure and good for you, that's a problem.
It's not that naturally occurring.
It's just too good to be true. It probably is. Like there will be. I promise you, there will be some drawback to that.
It just causes like brain cancer.
There's something, yeah. Like, and it's just like, I'm good.
Or it doesn't have any side effects. You just have to tell people, like, yes, I suckled from the tit of a Yowie.
And they're
like, all right, get the fuck out of here, you
all right,
freak.
you can leave. Like,
Get back to the insane asylum, you fucking freak.
Just like, no. I don't want to open up that can of worms.
You develop a Yowie kink.
I don't want to open up that can of Foster's. So,
there you go.
I'm just, I will gladly live in my ignorance, just sipping on Foster. Yeah. What about 80 grams of protein? No.
Sustain you for 2 months.
It's like 0 calories.
Yeah, 0 calories,
0
fat,
sugar.
Just pure 100%, just grade A shit, man.
It's better than sex. It's better than ecstasy. Like,
this is the shit Arnold Schwarzenegger used to drink back when he was Mr. Universe or whatever the fuck.
That should be like an AI generated video. Like, what's your secret? And it's just like a 1980s montage video of Arnold Schwarzenegger just pumping iron, and then like the very last 30 seconds of it, he's just like fucking downing gallons of Yowie milk. Fucking just
AI could do it. It has the technology.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, AI, it could easily render that video. And then we'll share it. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger will be like, what the fuck is this?
How did they get my secrets?
No, how'd they find out? No!
Oh, man. All right, that's the last we're going to talk about Yowie milk, hopefully. I hope. So to get back to the sightings, there's actually a website called yowiehunters.com that has a breakdown of the percentage of like where the sightings take place.
Oh, I thought you were about to say the percentage of Yowie milk.
It's 2%.
Okay.
Western Australia is 2%.
Okay.
So yeah, you have Western Australia making up 2% of the Yowie sightings. The Northern Territory 1.5%. South Australia also at 1.5%. And then as you get to the eastern side, Queensland is 30%, New South Wales is 54%, and Victoria is 11%. So almost exclusively eastern coast of Australia gets the Yowie sightings. They actually have an interactive map of Yowie sightings as well. And if you take a look at that, it is all the little dots that are on it, like overlapping each other on the eastern coast.
And it's no coincidence that the percentages of those sightings jump through the roof, once you get out towards like that part of it's like the most populated part of Australia.
True.
Is that area. So more activity, more chances for people to kind of like witness things and document, report,
Like underneath of the map, it says, the witness reports cannot be ignored. Just how many credible witnesses viewing this animal at close range will take it for people to understand that the Yowie is far more than imagination. The reader must also keep in mind that many of these witnesses were not alone at the time of their sightings. There's been up to 20 witnesses during the same encounter. Some of our best witnesses of the Yowie were in fact skeptics prior to their encounter. There have been thousands of Yowie reports in this country since colonialism during the 1700s, all describing the exact same creature. These encounters are not only visual but also audible. Again, the reports over the years tell the deep guttural growling and grunting far beyond the vocal capacity of a human. Reports from the late 1700s are the same description as the current reports today.
Interesting. So I wonder, is there a Yowie call?
Oh,
you can, like with Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah.
When you're squatching.
Oh, yeah. You make one of those sounds.
Are there people out in the Outback just...
Hey, Yowie, get the fuck over here.
I wonder what it is. Just like, trying to summon this thing.
So we can talk a little bit about some of the researchers and cryptozoologists that kind of have searched for the Yowie.
Okay.
Probably the most famous one is going to be Rex Gilroy. Have you heard of him?
Mm-mm.
He pretty much dedicated his entire life to finding the Yowie from the 1970s up until he passed away, I believe, recently, April of 2023.
Oh, okay. So almost 2 years ago to the date.
Yeah. Since the mid-1970s, paranormal enthusiast and self-described cryptozoologist Rex Gilroy attempted to popularize the Yowie legend. He claimed to have collected over 3,000 reports of Yowie encounters and theorized that they represented a relict population of extinct apes or early Homo species. Rex believed that the Yowie is related to the North American Bigfoot. Along with his partner Heather Gilroy, he spent 50 years amassing his Yowie collection. He apparently had casts of its feet, and he was like.
So he was the equivalent of
that Bigfoot guy,
the Bigfoot guy, the professor, the anthropologist.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So he spent his whole life trying to find it. I'm assuming he must have found some traces of it. I don't know if he ever seen it, but
I wouldn't be surprised if you kind of dedicate your life. I bet you anything. There's probably hair samples, and then let's get this tested, by DNA.
And it comes back as just being
inconclusive.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, it came from something, but we don't know what.
It's Yowie. It's Yowie.
That's what it is.
Then you have Tim the Yowie Man,
who is also the Tiger King's arch nemesis.
What?
If there is an arch nemesis, it would be for the
Tim the Yowie Man.
Oh yeah, the Tiger King, like that. Yeah, Tim the Yowie Man is like. I'm completely making that up.
I know. I was wondering where that correlation and how they became an arch nemesis though.
Because if you follow the Tiger King, his life is just such a fucking circus.
That's true.
That I would not put it
that
past.
he's got beef with a dude that hunts the Yowie for a living.
Exactly. I would. If there's anybody that would have beef with it, would be the Tiger King.
Tim the Yowie Man is a published author who claims to have seen a Yowie in the Brandon-Bella Ranges in 1994. Since then, Tim has investigated Yowie sightings and other paranormal phenomena. He also writes a regular column in Australian newspapers, the Canberra Times and the Sydney Morning Herald. In 2004, Tim won a legal case against Cadbury, a popular British confectionery company, I guess who make Cadbury eggs. Cadbury had claimed that his moniker was too similar to the range of Yowie confectionery. Maybe they're not.
No,
I'll have to look into
that. That's them. That's them.
Yeah.
I've never heard of.
But I want to know, their Yowie, what kind of Yowie chocolates were they making?
Have you seen the Yowie chocolates? What they look like? They look really good. I want to try one. That would be a good Netflix documentary. The beef between
Cadbury and Tim the Yowie Man.
Well, did you see the one about the Pez guy? There's a Netflix documentary of this dude who becomes a Pez smuggler.
Okay, I'm looking at the chocolates now. Do they come with a little prize inside? Is that what that is?
I think that said they have animals and stuff. Little fact sheets about animals.
Like how they have different little Yowies.
Yeah.
Boof the Brattlebrush, Craig the Mangrove, Diddy the Lillipilly, Nap the Honeygum, Rumble the Redgum, and Swish the Fiddlewood.
Can you still buy? So, can you buy it? Oh snap! They have them at Walmart.
I assume they make it with fresh Yowie milk.
I really wanted to try it, but now
no, just you ruined it.
It's fucking done. It's fucking done. But we can buy it. They have it at Walmart apparently.
No, they don't.
Pick up today 6-pack of Yowie milk chocolate.
No, where at? Which Walmart?
I don't think it might not be the same one.
Something similar, yeah.
Basically, yeah. I want to try it now. Walgreens has? Is this like a popular thing? Have we been walking past like Yowie chocolate this entire time? We just had no idea it existed.
Apparently,
it's good to know. Have to give it a shot. Have to try it. So then we got Rex Gilroy, Tim the Yowie Man. And really, there's not, I mean, I'm sure there's more out there, but there's not really much more.
Yeah, those are like the two prominent ones.
And then, of course, we have skepticism and alternate theories. Graham Joyner, who's an Australian historian, has extensively researched the Yahoo, also referred to as the hairy man, Australian ape, or Australian gorilla. And in many cases, Joyner compiled these accounts in his 1977 publication, The Hairy Man of Southeastern Australia, aiming to shed light on this phenomenon. In his research, Joyner suggests that the contemporary concept of the Yowie may have emerged from a misunderstanding or a conflation with the earlier Yahoo reports. He posits that the Yowie was relatively unknown before the mid-1970s, and that its rise in popular culture could be linked to misinterpretations of historical accounts. Which, okay, I can kind of see that. As technology continues to modernize, as we have more access to resources like the internet and stuff like that, it's kind of like our brains are kind of wired to look for similarities, patterns, essentially, even when things aren't like necessarily there. Like it's just the way that our brain functions to kind of like help ease like the processing of information.
Right.
So I could see that as, you know, people start combing back through history and they have their kind of like a subconscious idea of what a Yowie is, and then they start connecting the dots. Oh shit, this was a Yowie back then. Right. You know, this was a Yowie. Like, this is historical. And then with that kind of cultural push, then people kind of start bringing that to like the forefront of now everybody's seeing a Yowie, because if it existed back then, it probably exists now.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And it's the exact same description, too.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
And then there's also like we mentioned, Rex, he was trying to popularize the Yowie legend around the same time as the mid-1970s.
Yeah.
So the explosion in interest and sightings of the Yowie in the 1970s probably coincides with Rex bringing it into public view and trying to get people on board with seeing it, more or less.
Makes sense. I can see that for sure.
Everybody's trying to get their name in the papers, you know.
Certainly would have been the whole reason with like the UFO boom in the 1950s. You know, everybody,
Yep,
one guy reports it, and everybody now is seeing a flying saucer.
Just pretty much based on what I've read about Gilroy, his quote unquote contributions have almost single handedly made the Yowie synonymous in like Australian culture.
Really,
like it's pretty much all goes to him of like why this is such a mainstream cryptid down there.
Could you imagine like dedicating your life to something that may potentially or exist or not exist, and you've left such a cultural impact that pretty much any time somebody references
the Yowie,
you make
a nickel.
Yeah, basically like it's just traced back to you as like the sole
the
contributor,
founding
the founding,
yeah.
Like who's like the Nessie guy, who's like. You know what I mean?
I mean, we
like,
can trace back, like, Mothman has a traceable source of who started that rumor, and then you have, like, the Jersey Devil has sort of a traceable record, but yeah.
It was like some family drama shit there going on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but...
Pop culture, the Yowie's in so many things. Apparently, something called Terra Australis, Call of Cthulhu in the Land Down Under. First published in 1987 as a supplement to the role-playing game Call of Cthulhu, includes the Yowie as one of the several mythical monsters of Australia.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Season 8 of the soap opera A Country Practice features a suspected Yowie sighting. 2001 video game Final Fantasy X, right? Final Fantasy X? Final Fantasy X? That's 10, right?
Maybe, I guess.
The Yowie appears as a reptilian enemy. He was in Scooby-Doo, The Legend of the Vampire. I mean, like, from there, it just keeps going. It's things that I've never heard of, but probably because those are mostly Australian-based things.
I want to say, I thought I watched that Scooby-Doo, The Legend of the Vampire.
I feel like we for sure did. It came out in 2003.
I just don't remember.
Like, looking at the cover art, it looks very familiar. We might have been out of the Scooby-Doo phase by then.
No, because I remember them.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they were in it. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the Yowie?
My thoughts on the Yowie are that pretty much that the Aboriginal mythology is certainly ingrained into what it is.
Oh, yeah.
I think that has a great impact on the way that it's viewed in Australia culture, but you can't discount the Rex Gilroy contributions to it as well for being so mainstream. So I think that in Australia, anything's possible. They already have such crazy shit going on down there as it is. And
dude, they got fucking kangaroos that can fuck up your shit.
Yeah, like I said, they have man-eating spiders. They have saltwater crocodiles that can grow up to 20 feet long and weigh the amount of a small car. You have just the most insane shit you can think of living there, and people just like, oh yeah, that's what that is. We say that shit all the time.
Poisonous snakes that literally melt your eyeballs.
Yeah.
I'm being facetious.
And I don't know, I think I've seen somewhere that like only 40% of Australia has even been explored.
For good fucking reason.
Yeah, exactly. So, do I think the Yowie exists? Actually, I kind of think that it has more plausible right to existing than Bigfoot. Like, I feel like there's more cause for it to possibly exist than Bigfoot does, in a weird way. Just because if Australia's barely been discovered, who knows? And it's already such a fucking weird wasteland of almost cryptid-like creatures as it is. I certainly think that a giant ape could have survived there since the dawn of time.
Yeah, that'd be pretty. Yeah.
And if the Aboriginals are like, oh yeah, we see that shit all the time. It's a Yowie. It's here.
They talk, like I said, they're talking about it like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a common day experience.
Yeah.
And
you really can't discount it. Like the website, the Yowie research website that I was looking at.
Yeah.
You can't discount how many people have seen it and how many of those reportings have had multiple witnesses for the same encounter. So unlike Bigfoot's where you get one person saying, oh, I seen it, and that's it, and nobody else can corroborate the story, this seems to have multiple encounters where multiple people are seeing the same thing.
A little bit more truth to it.
The only issue that I have with the story is how different the presentations are.
Yeah, there's no consistency.
Yeah, there's no consistency of what it looks like, how big it is, what its demeanor is, if it's got giant mommy milkers, or if it's got a huge dong, or if it's got backwards feet. Nobody seems to know. So,
which I think I would remember those features.
Right.
That's the question there. Like you're just like reporting this like sighting.
How tall was it? 6 feet?
6 feet.
7 feet? 8 feet? 9 feet? 14 feet?
Huh. That's quite the jump there. 9 feet.
Did it have hair?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah,
what color was the hair? White, brown, black, other?
It's more like a red. Put other hair. Did it have mommy milkers?
Come to think of it, it did.
I think it did. It's crazy.
Did it try to kill you?
No,
it just kind of stood there.
Kind of stood there staring at me.
Did it have car insurance?
You know what? I think it did. Yeah, I think it did have car insurance.
Was it drinking a Foster's?
It was drinking a Foster's
because I gave
it to him. Yeah, there's just no consistency at all with any of the sightings. But I tend to agree with you on this. I think, given how vast Australia is, and the sheer fact that most of the population kind of exists on the coast of Australia, with it being such a vast ecosystem out in the center, if there was any place where somebody could hide and not want to be found, Australia would be
for perfect place to hide out.
Exactly. And it would be really interesting to see if more exploration was happening out in like the middle of Australia, if we would see more Yowie sightings. That would be kind of cool too.
Yeah.
Because like I said, most of the sightings are in the populated areas, but what if there was like more sightings in the non-populated areas? That would kind of make me be like, okay, that's a little bit more credible, because it's
You have to wonder how many are like unreported sightings too by the Aboriginal people that don't report those kind of things.
True, exactly, and they probably have it, but they're so, from what I've gathered, like I said, they're so like open about it, and they actually believe it, like in their core, that it's like an everyday occurrence. Yeah. They probably, why would I report that? Like I see that thing all the time. Yeah. Like it's normal.
It's like, it's not a legend to them. It's a real thing.
It's like a real thing. Yeah. So yeah, no, it'd be kind of cool. I like the concept of the Yowie. That was pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, I like the concept of Australia.
A lot of good things come out of Australia.
Like Rio Ripley.
And Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, he's Australian. And Hugh Jackman.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Hugh Jackman. Yeah, that's yep. Mm-hmm.
And Foster's apparently.
I fucking love Foster's. They're like if Hugh Jackman or Chris Hemsworth like are listening to
or Ray
this,
Ripley,
or they're listening to this, they're probably like, why would you drink that garbage?
You're right.
That piss water.
Sucks.
It's just like that's the shit I used to get trashed when I was 15.
It's like Irish people with Guinness. It's like what?
Really? Do you think? I think Irish people really do like Guinness though, or is it to them?
For good reason. Guinness is great,
but
I feel like it's also like the Miller Lite of Irish beers.
For them over there?
I feel like it is. Yeah. I can't confirm that. I'm not friends with any true blue Irish people.
Like if you go to Ireland and you ask for a Guinness, are they going to scoff at you, or they're going to be like,
probably not. Like every bar or every pub in Ireland serves Guinness. So
no. But I'm saying like as a tourist, like as an American going to like Ireland, you're like, oh man, can I get one of those Guinnesses that you guys are always drinking?
If you ask it like that, I'm sure.
Okay, well, sure, yeah, well, no, yeah, like that, and that, yeah, of course, not like but I'm saying like if you like ask for a Guinness as like an American tourist, are they going to be like, oh, okay, you think that's what we drink because we're Irish, or is it going to be like?
I mean, you're fucking right, but
or is it going to be like, okay, well, how about this instead?
Yeah, try this.
This is like some good Irish shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because like if somebody came over here,
and like, hey, give me a Miller Lite, and
they're like, fuck would you want to like? Like no,
yeah. Drink a Coors Banquet like a real fucking American,
or like a Blue Moon or something. Here, try this. Like yeah, like we're not gonna do you dirty, man.
Right?
We're gonna hook you up if you really want to try something. Like, here's some good craft beer. This is from a brewery up the street.
In Australia, Foster's Lager is not as popular as it is internationally, and its reputation is often seen as a bit of a joke.
Yeah, I'm saying like it has to
be. Once a prominent brand, Australians have generally moved away from it in favor of other beers, particularly craft beers and more established local brands. So yeah, you're right. It's pretty much one of those. Nobody drinks that shit. But anyways, any closing thoughts on the Yowie that you want to get off your chest, or that pretty much wrap it up for us? You're putting a nice little tight bow on them giant Mondo.
Good. I will. I would much rather drink Foster's
than Yowie milk.
I will never.
That's fair.
If there's anything that we could take away from this episode, is I have zero desire to partake in Yowie milk of any kind.
I think the message of this podcast is don't drink milk from a cryptid.
Yeah. I mean,
so with that,
I bid you farewell.
We bid you a fond farewell. If you are Australian, if you've seen the Yowie, let us know. Drop us a comment. Or send us an email, shadowsandsightings@gmail.com. Instagram, Shadows and Sightings Pod. I think that's what it is. Shadows and Sightings Pod. Or Facebook, Shadows and Sightings, a paranormal podcast. We're always open to your feedback. We're always open to your comments, your stories, your ghost hunting, your cryptid encounters, anything like that. Anything spooky. Or if you just want to say hi, just let us know.
Highs are fun.
Let us know what you think of the podcast. Leave us a 5-star review if you're listening to us on something that can be reviewed on. If you like the podcast, that is. If you don't like it, leave it a 5-star review anyway. Not that I'm trying to tell you how to live your life.
Yeah, this is nice. You're just being nice.
Yeah, and just tell your friends, like, hey, listen to this podcast. Help us grow. So we can go from 2 guys recording in a basement to 2 guys that are recording in a basement for a large audience.
Yeah, pretty much.
But we are growing. We see the data. We see the reports. We're getting some more listeners. We just need some more. So tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell your ghosts.
Tell the Yowies.
Tell the Yowies. Tell the Bigfoots. The
Nessies. The aliens. The interdimensional creatures.
Your Uncle Fred.
Maybe not him. But as always, we appreciate you guys, and this is why we're doing it.
And we'll see you next time when we talk about all things spooky.